Hey, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Darkness and Into the Light. Hopefully everyone's doing great today. This is a great day to be alive. This is such a great day to be alive. I'm outside again with nature, with natural. It's great to be outside with nature, with natural. We can hear all the life, the birds. Of course, the cicadas, they're going to always be out. They love to announce the great sunlight, the great sun. And then we have the birds. Of course, we have the birds. It's always great to hear the birds as they talk to each other. They have a cell phone, too. The birds have a cell phone, too. Isn't that something? Everybody's got a cell phone. We're in the era where everyone has a cell phone. Birds communicate telepathically also. You can tell they're communicating telepathically when you see them flying as a flock or a formation. There's one bird that leads and the rest of the birds follow. It's like being connected to a network or a worldwide web, so to speak. That one bird is leading the way. The rest of the birds are following. Some say that the birds are following because they're in a perfect formation because of the birds going with the updraft and the flow of the bird in front of it. But if you look at them, they're not doing that. They're just perfectly in line with the leader, with the lead bird. And that tells you that they're tapped in to the lead bird. And the formation does everything exactly that the lead bird does. And the formation never breaks off. So that should tell us something. We should be like those birds. We should be like free-flowing, tapped into each other so we can have a great formation. That formation that we have is the love and unity that we share, the love and unity that we bestow upon each other, that love and unity that we care for somebody or share or do something for someone without expecting anything in return. That's hard to do for some, and it's easy to do for others. I know it's easy to do for me. It's called the law of reciprocity. You reap what you sow. It's a biblical term too. That a man sow, that shall he also reap. The law of reciprocity. It's a law. There's no sense in breaking that law. That's a good law. Whenever you see the word wall, W-A-L-L, any word in the English language that has two of the same letters, one of the letters is silent. So wall technically is spelled W-A-L. The other L is silent. Now if you reverse that word or scramble that word wall now becomes law. Law is a separation. Law is a wall. There's a separation because of the law. The law is the wall. Once you understand what the law or the wall is there for, then the law or the wall no longer becomes a wall or a separation. So we want to talk today. I wanted to talk today about the stages of behavioral change. The stages of behavioral change. One of the stages of behavioral change, or before we go deep in depth into the behavioral change aspect of this particular topic, behavior, that's actions done by you. That's mindset. It's mental competency. That's your behavior. Your behavior. We always can identify when a young kid or baby has a particular behavior, and that's so easily to identify. But we can't identify when we have behavior issues. We think because we're grown now, we don't have behavioral issues. The behaviors that we have are brought on by There could be just traditional ways of thinking. There could be customary. It's a custom to do this, and so it forms or it dictates our behavior. And then there's certain behaviors that we have toward the people that we come in contact with. And certain people we come in contact helps to bring out that behavior, whether it's a good behavior or bad behavior. What we want to display mostly is the good behavior, that positive behavior, positive energy, that love energy. That word love scrambled spells the word evolve, the root word to evolve. If you can evolve in love, you will definitely evolve in life, and you will bypass the great wall, that great wall. So often we put a wall between us and those things that are really beneficial for us. We put a wall between us and friendships. We put a wall between us and relationships. But it's time to tear down those walls. It's time to show kindness, show acts of kindness. Don't show the acts of kindness because you want to get something in return, or you want people to acknowledge you and you tell that you did this good deed or this great deed, and then you tell somebody, well, you've reaped your reward. Do it without expecting to get a reward. Just do it because you want to do it out of the kindness of your heart. Not this thing. You want to do it out of the kindness of your heart, your head, and you'll be clear in your head that you did it without expecting anything in return. A lot of times when we do show kindness or acts of kindness, we want to be pat on the back. We want someone to acknowledge us for doing it. And I've been in corporations and they have employee appreciations, employee of the month, and at the end of the year, at the Christmas party or what have you, and they will acknowledge these people for doing a great job or excelling at a particular job, and they give them a certificate, and everybody clap their hands, and then there's people that's sitting in the audience who's saying, it should have been me. It should have been me. I did everything I could to show that I was an outstanding employee and I didn't get recognized. Did it for the wrong reason. See, when you do it for the right reason, you don't need no one to acknowledge you. You don't need no one to show you recognition. The recognition is given to you by you. That's a great behavior. That's a great way to behave. I remember when I was a kid and we'd go visit some other people that my parents knew, and they say, listen here, I want to tell you something. They would give us this speech before we got out the car. All right, let me tell you something. When you go in here, you better behave yourself. And don't be running around and jumping on people's furniture and couches, because you don't do that at home, so you behave. You act like you got some good sense. And don't let me see you not behaving yourself. And when you ask to use the restroom, you say please. And when they give you something to drink or eat, you say thank you. And you remember that you be on your best behavior. Okay, yes, mama. Okay, yes, daddy. And you go in there and you be on your best behavior, or otherwise you know what's going to happen when they leave the company's house. I never forget, my son was a baby. We was over visiting some family and family friends of my mother's, and I kept telling them, and they just loved him. So because they loved him so, he had this little behavior where he just gonna be the center of attention, just showing off, just doing all the stuff we told him not to do. And so I said, hey, you better stop that running around that coffee table like that. Stop that. And he run. I'd step outside and smoke a cigarette, talking with my other friends and stuff, and come back inside. He done slipped on the rug and bumped his head. And I told him, I said, see, I told you not to be running around that coffee table. How did you hurt yourself? I slipped and fell under To this day, he got a scar to remind him of his behavior. So life gives us scars based off of our behaviors. I had a terrible behavior. My behavior was consuming alcohol to the point where I just was out of my character. Terrible behavior. I had to get that behavior under control. I had to get that behavior under control. I had to look at myself and say, there's no need for you to behave like that. Why are you behaving like that? What's wrong with you? Didn't I teach you better than that? Talking to myself. I teach myself. Talking to myself about my behavior. So we're talking about the 6 stages of behavior change. The 6 stages of behavior change. The first one is pre-contemplation, where you think ahead and you contemplate your behavior. You're contemplating a particular way you're going to behave, a particular action you're going to take. And so you pre-contemplate that. You take that behavior and you say, okay, I'm going to not do this, or I am going to do that. You've already contemplated it, whether it's good or bad. You're thinking about it, and you know in advance that this is the particular behavior that you're going to have. And it could be a behavior change, or it could be just acknowledging or understanding your own behavior. Sometimes we have a behavior and we don't understand why or where that behavior comes from. But when we understand it, then that makes that behavior more acceptable to whoever, whether it be you or whether it be someone who comes in contact with you. But we have a pre-contemplation when it comes to our behaviors. The next thing is the contemplation. We contemplate, we indecision about it. And so we think about it and we say, I can get with this or I can get with that. Or I can do this or I can do that. Or I can do this because this is where it's at. So we've contemplated it. Now we're in the preparation stages. Uh-oh. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put preparation in it. And not preparation H. Funny thing about preparation H. Models use preparation H to get the bags. If they got bags of crow's feet, I was told that models use that, and they used to use that preparation H to take the swelling down from the bags under the eyes and the crow's nest. Isn't that something? Whoever thought of that one, I'm not sure, but man, they claimed it worked. I remember back when I was entertaining, I was getting ready to go on stage. I had my makeup on, and I never forget Denise LaSalle, may she rest in peace. She said, they used to call me Michael because I was, doing the Michael Jackson impersonation. So she said, Michael, you know what? She says, my makeup artist, before I go out on stage, she would always spray hairspray on my makeup, on my face, to keep the makeup from running. And so that was one of the issues that I had. Once I'd put that makeup on, and I'd go out in them lights, and then I'm dancing, and boy, the makeup would start to melt and run in my eyes and burn my eyes, and so it interfered with me doing my act. And so she told me, she says, just let me spray the hairspray on your face. And so I'm thinking I can trust her, I said, okay, go ahead, Denise. She sprays the hairspray on my face, and they called me out, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Don Bell presents Michael Jackson. And I run out on stage and start performing. And no more than 1 or 2 minutes into my performance, makeup started. I looked like I was melting. I was the incredible melting man. and it started running in my eyes, and I just started my performance, and I couldn't stop it. So I'm doing everything with my eyes closed, and it's a good thing that I saw the stage. You know, you come in and you see what I do. I see what area that I have to work with. Did the same thing with the band. You wanted to know how much room you had to set up and everything. So I had seen how much and had practice on that stage, but I did the whole thing with my eyes closed. And I went backstage after I finished. I was like, Denise, after I got all that makeup out of my eyes, what the heck? You got me. She meant well. She meant well. I said all that talking about preparation, but the preparation for behavioral change. You have to get prepared to make a behavioral change. Sometimes in making that behavioral change, you have to be prepared to lose some friends. You have to be prepared to change locations. You have to be prepared to not go to places that you used to go to if you really want to make a change. And if you really want to make that behavioral change, you have to make that preparation in yourself to know that, hey, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. And that's not going to influence me anymore. Or this is not going to influence me anymore. See, I've made that preparation. I said, well, I can't walk through life not ever seeing a beer commercial. I can't think I'm going to walk through life and not go into a store and not see beer. Beer wasn't my issue. Or I couldn't not go into a store and see alcohol at all. I used to drink beer. I used to drink wine. I stopped off with the brandy. And brandy, you mostly could find it at a liquor store. So I was prepared to say, I can pass by the liquor store without stopping this time. And this time, and from hence, and forevermore, Old English. But I had to do a preparation in my own mind. So that's what we need to do. We need to prepare in our own mind for behavioral change. If you need a behavioral change, then the first three things you must do in order to achieve this behavioral change is the pre-contemplation. You have to contemplate that change. You have to contemplate the consequences of you making that change. The next thing is to put them all together in your head and contemplate it. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm not going to do that. And then the next step would have been preparation. So now you get prepared. You get prepared for this behavioral change. And the step after that is action. You must take action. Talking about it is not going to get it. I had a lyrics in one of my songs said, let's not talk about it, let's be about it. Are we a team or are we divided? All this talk about praise and worship, then get on up and move that body. You got to take action. In theater, in movies, and whatever, they have a preparation part where they're prepared to do their parts and study their parts, and then when it comes time to do that part, and the director say, "All right, quiet on the set," and then once they say quiet on the set, the next step they say is and action. And once they yell action, then you must take action. The other step is maintenance. We have to maintain. You have to be able to maintain. If we can maintain, maintenance is really important, because maintenance is one of the things that we do for a car, we do it for our house, but we never do it for ourselves. So we have to do maintenance on ourselves. And the last one, but not least, is termination. Not determination, termination. We did all these things and we went through all these steps, and then we try not to have a relapse. And so once we relapse, we have terminated all that effort. But we don't want to do that. We want to keep moving forward. We want to stay focused and do all that we can to help those behavioral changes. And so, like I said before, out of the darkness and into the light. We'll see you on the next episode.